even though he's down 1-2. You know, he's my boy. I can't stray away from that, even though I know he's so bad against Koreans, and he said he's so bad against Koreans. Sen, he has somewhere, you know, special in my heart. He has a place special, you know what I'm saying.
Where else would he have a special place in? Your thigh?
Could be my brain.
All right, sure.
Could be my clavicle.
Clavicle is the chest bone, right?
It could be, Frodan.
That's the sternum.
Okay.
That's
it could be in my estomago, okay? Where I store all my chi. My
you store a lot of things in your stomach, to be fair.
Whoa, Frodan. Frodan, you're such a hater, bro. You're such a hater.
Alicia is gonna pylon scout immediately.
Those are fighting words, Frodan. Do you really want to fight me?
Maybe.
Do you really want to fight me?
Maybe.
I will fight you. Let's fight at the finals.
All right.
You want to do that?
Seriously, we'll do that. All right. All right. Well, okay. Maybe we'll figure something out then for the finals. You heard it here first.
Maybe we've already
challenged me
something.
to a final. I always figured we team together to go up against Mr. Bitter and Rotterdam.
I know.
Because I think we take them.
Oh, we would. Bitter. Oh, I was gonna.
Rotterdam's a lover, not a fighter, man. That's for sure. There's a lot of things Rotterdam is, but he's not a fighter.
Jinx, buy me a Coke.
You know, Sen is a fighter too. You can wrestle really well.
Yeah, no, he's
he's surprisingly strong. Sen is surprisingly strong. We have this thing in our office called an ab roller, where you try to do like sets of really intense planks, and you just roll, and it's like a huge workout for your abs. And Sen can do quite a few.
He did 1.
No, he did like 4.
Really?
And like, you know what's impressive too? Like Violet did like 15 because Violet thought he was gonna win a prize.
Do you know what?
If he did the most?
Exactly. Do you
and
know who else did really well?
Can even do 1. Huh?
Ben did really well.
Yeah, Ben did like 20.
Did he really?
Yeah. Ben's really strong too. Mr. Bitter's pretty strong. We have actually surprisingly amount of strong people.
I did 21. You did like 30.
I stopped
30?
at 40.
40.
I stopped at 40.
Not bad. Yeah. See, we're all
making strides. We're all making progress.
Exactly. Let's talk about the builds real quick. We have a Nexus first going into Forge, double pylon. I like what we're seeing right now in the gateway, just to really abuse what Sen has been doing. Actually, this is okay. I take that back. No, maybe so. Sen has only gotten 2 Zerglings. This is kind of weird. Normally you won't go 2 Zerglings, but I think just because it's an enclosed positioning and he's choosing to put his pylon over here, he can easily just stuff another pylon that'll... can he? I think he can stuff another pylon right here or a gateway, one of those, and then just shove it off completely so he doesn't have to worry about a single thing. Alicia's in a great position, I think, seeing as he got his Nexus super, super fast. And just like game number 2 on Dual Slate, when you give the option to let the Protoss take that Nexus first, it means they have a lot of chrono boost to deal with, and that also means the variances in their builds are increased. Now I can get my +1 a lot faster. Now I can get my Warp Gate a lot faster, or now I can get my economy a lot faster.
Yeah, and I've seen some of Alicia's play on this map. He really likes those 7-gate, like the Immortal Warp Prism push, especially when you come from the high ground. It's really hard to get to that Warp Prism if you park it on that high ground by Sen's 4th, and just continue to warp in from there and just really continue to push. But of course, Alicia has just shown a lot of ability to play off 2 base, and whether or not he chooses to go for Warp Gate or chooses to go for any kind of tech play, it all depends on his gas timing. So I think Sen has to be a lot more cautious with what Alicia's capable of. He's seen that Alicia will only take 3rd base if he has a big advantage. That's what we've been seeing throughout the season as well. When he played against Idra, it was the same case, where he plays 2 base and only gets his 3rd if he has an advantage. We do see a Stargate out of Alicia, and he's going to change it up, and I like the Stargate positioning as well. It's to prevent any kind of run by, and just to also keep his Stargate close to the natural wall.
Yeah, that's really important to note, actually. The placement of the Stargate is so intelligent. Yeah. It just works twofold. That's something that really needs to be, I think, limelighted, because a lot of these top players do think about their SimCity and make sure that, you know, every single building has a purpose, whether it be, you know, run-bys, whether it be just, you know, very efficient, you know, walks with the units and making sure they come out of at a good time. Everything is made sure that it's, you know, in perfect position, and Alicia is no different. One thing I do want to note, though, is that Sen should have some indications that this is coming. This 3rd gas is actually super curious. He's looking at that like, why do you only need 3 gases and not 4?
Yeah.
So he has to be thinking Stargate or Dark Templars. are the main transitions after this. He could potentially be going for some sort of blink or robotics, but it's kind of rare seeing as only 3 gases have been taken.
Yeah, and he sees nothing in the main, so he says, well, there's got to be tech at the natural. His Overlord wants to scout every part of it, and he's going to see the Void Ray, so pretty much Sen has all full disclosure of his opponent. Sen, of course, is going for pretty standard timings on everything. He's getting his 6-minute gases and his Roach Warren, as well as just getting everything up on 3 base. But he needs to get up those spores now. What's interesting is that Alicia has been going for 1 Void Ray. We've been seeing a lot of Protosses going for 2 Void Rays and really trying to pressure. But this just shows that Alicia eventually wants to force his units out as he gets ready for another follow-up push. And looks like he's already preparing it, getting his robotics and gateways up.
Yep, I like what we're seeing from Alicia. I've just been watching him on the minimap. He's just like preparing preemptively for this switch, and he wants his opponent to actually go Hydras. That's the number one thing. And Alicia is really kind of, I wouldn't say rolling the dice, but he is putting it up to chance for Sen to react poorly. If ever there are Hydras coming out here, I feel like Sen is massively behind. But if he doesn't make Hydras, then I think he's massively ahead. What he's trying to do is have an overreaction, and then he gets really efficient composition-wise. Sen is doing the right thing, just throwing out Spore Crawlers and relying on Queens. And I think Sen will have a gigantic macro advantage against his opponent.
Doesn't even kill the Queen. The Phoenixes have to finish the job, and the Void Rays end up getting pushed back. And that's okay. Sen has plenty of Queens to spare. So many Queens for 1 Overmind. What a pimp.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. And you can see that at this point, Alicia doesn't really have any more Stargate units following up. Just going to start massing up it back at home. Immortal as well as the Robotics Bay. Not going to force any Hydras out of Sen. And Sen is pretty much just going to macro up from here. And I think he did a pretty good job holding. He's actually at 72 drones. Very impressive.
And look at this. The Colossus play looks so good if Hydras are out, Frodan. But he just was not able to sell it. I think the main thing that didn't sell it is actually the fact that there were only 3 gases up. No matter what, I think Alicia should take that extra gas. If you're only going to mine from 3 gases, that's fine. But put these on and then throw 3 of these gases off. That way you're still on 3 gas economy, and all of you spent is 75 minerals to actually fake that you're going some sort of 2 Stargate play. That's what really hindered Alicia, in my opinion. But as we see right now, Sen is just going to be churning out units non-stop. Income tap, 72 harvesters, and he's even getting more. 2 hatcheries on the way, getting his 4th base, and just now he's going to spot out his opponent is getting his 3rd base. Yep,
and now that Sen knows that, he can even expand to his 5th base if he really wanted to. There's nothing really Alicia can do about that. He's getting his first Colossus out into the field and trying to get those upgrades, but there's going to be a lot of passivity because there's pretty much no map presence other than that Void Ray, which won't be around even for that much longer. Look at that, Sen immediately teching to Hive, realizing he has a lot of time. 20 drones on the way, Sen.
What?
Classic Sen.
Rotterdam, are you seeing this? Oh my gosh.
20 drones.
This is Rotterdam's like biggest nightmare, man. When he sees a Zerg just going in, unimpeded into the 100 drone count. It's just like, oh my god, what can I possibly do against this? He's gonna get everything possible. I push out with a huge mass, and it doesn't matter because he has like 400 supply units.
It's true. Rotterdam like wakes up screaming sometimes after daydreaming. They often be like, ah! Like, what, Rotterdam, what's wrong? I just imagine Zerg just makes 40 roaches and drones behind it like it's nothing.
And he has 40 more larvae behind there. Yeah, and I kill units, sick, but I look at the replay and it still says 200 out of 200. Oh no.
It's true though, and Sen actually has been one to push supply limits too. I think one time I saw him at 20 or something at that, because he makes a bunch of spines and just cancels them.
PM.
Sen really knows how to push the limits of Zerg in terms of his greediness. 50 Zerglings on the way for Sen in a Baneling Nest. Now, Sen is capable of playing all kinds of style. We've seen him play, a Zergling, Baneling, Infestor style, get a lot of Corruptors out with lots of upgrades. We've seen him go, of course, Mass Roach. And, there's lots of things that Sen can play around. And looks like Sen is going to lean over towards lots and lots of melee units, getting Ultralisks out. And we haven't seen Ultras that often, but when you watch Symbol play in ZVP against Parting at GSL, everyone's like, wow,
yeah, that makes sense.
Ultras are pretty good in crushing force fields and just killing everything.
Do you know what's cool? Ultras are really good if there are no Immortals out in the field, but there are some. And that's going to throw a wrench into things. The number one thing, though, is positioning when you're ever dealing with Immortals. And I think Alicia actually has an advantage in positioning in that the 4th base exists. If he has to go across map, then obviously there would be a huge problem because now he goes into open grounds. But this 4th base is pretty heavily enclosed. I mean, you have a lot of terrain helping you out, so he can easily just start picking across these units, and Sen will always be attacking in a single direction. That's really difficult.
Sen needs to buy time. He's got 35 Banelings on the way. Baneling speed isn't done yet. This is a great time for Alicia to strike, as Sen is not prepared, but a huge amount of Banelings are coming in.
Oh god, they have no speed though. Speed is almost finished. And look at that, additional force fields are going to come up here. Sen has to get out of here. He cannot engage, but look at that. He's actually forced to engage right here, as the Banelings are just going to waddle through. They're not going to connect with anything. Oh my god, beautiful. And Sen gets crushed. Alicia at 182 supply to Sen's 124. Oh my god, I think Sen just lost the game right there. Yes. Losing the 4th base and all the gas investment he's been doing.
It's really tough for Sen to hold now that Alicia has that 4th base and positioning, able to march in force. Sen was not able to be prepared. The Banes are trying to roll from the back, but not a lot of use. That'll do. More Banes are coming in, though, without force field. Sen gonna blow up on a lot of units, but just falling a little bit short. Too much damage. GG gets called out. Alicia takes the series 3-1 and advances to the NASL Grand Finals in Toronto, our first player that has secured his spot. And it's going to be Slayer's Alicia.
Yeah, the MLG runner-up is going to take it over the 2-time third place winner at both NASLs. Congratulations to Alicia. Definitely showing his worth here at the NASL. I want to mention a couple of things. I think the 4th base location was the worst place to actually put it when you're ahead. Go to the other side, and that'll actually help out because obviously a much bigger area.
Yeah,
I think
farther
Sen,
away from the other bases.
I think Sen just thought he was super far ahead with holding off the Void Raids, and you can tell that Alicia's push was a little bit weaker. He was pushing out with 150 supply and just being like, okay, gateway units. I think if Sen just played a regular standard game rather than going Zergling Banelings with off times at that point, he would have been much better. Get Corruptors to deal with the Colossus. Don't rely on Ultralisks. And he would have been able to trade a lot more efficiently, but it's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, Ultralisks are a lot faster than Broodlords in terms of getting that tech out, just because Ultralisks leaning over towards like more of 100 seconds. Broodlords are like 134 seconds, so it's just an insane amount of time that Sen Needin was not able to. Ohana has the closer distance compared to other maps, and so Sen will drop here. But you know what, Sen? You've shown great games, not just from last night, but throughout the season. Sen's always been an entertainer. And we'll miss you at the final, Sen, but we'll see you in Season 4.
Thank you so much, and that's going to do it for him. But congratulations, Alicia. Let's talk about our next match right now, Frodan.
All right, our next match of the day will be a Protoss versus Protoss, Puzzle versus TT1.
Poor
it's going to
TT1.
be a really interesting matchup because Puzzle is just looking so sharp at NASL. Let's thank GameMinder, the game application that lets you know about upcoming games and demos. Download it at the App Store or at handleopera.com. Don't go anywhere. Our second series of the day will start right after this set of commercials.